Officially a sellout crowd at Paul Brown Stadium, ready for the Battle of Ohio, the Bengals and the Browns. Beautiful day, comfortable temperatures, 75 degrees. Pat Shurmur in his second season as head coach in Cleveland. He lost 2 close games last year against the Bengals. Today looking for some positive momentum for his young Browns. Marvin Lewis now in his 10th season at the helm in Cincinnati, coming off a trip to the postseason. His Bengals have lost to the Browns just once here in Cincinnati since 2004. The Bengals won the toss. They're going to defer to the second half, so the Browns will have the football to get things started. Josh Cribbs, the best in NFL history with 8 kickoff returns for touchdowns. Mike Nugent ready to get us underway. The 78th Battle of Ohio in the history of the series. The Bengals lead it 41-36 and have won 7 of the last 8 here in Cincinnati. Cribbs from the end zone. Brings it out to the 18-yard line. Brandon Wheaton making his second NFL start. Tough opening to his NFL career last week against Philadelphia. 4 interceptions, a poor quarterback rating, but looking to bounce back this week against the Bengals.
I think if I'm the Cleveland Browns and Jay Gruden, I think if you want to get your quarterback started off, start with some easy, short completions, get his wheels under him, and let him start to calm down right from the get-go.
First and 10 from the 18-yard line. They run the reverse. Travis Benjamin. Pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line. 2 Pro Bowlers up front for the Browns, and the rookie Schwartz goes at right tackle. Browns moved up to get Trent Richardson, 3rd overall, and he showed flashes last week of why they think he has a chance to be special. First down on the opening play. So first and 10 from the 31. Richardson on the delay. Tries to fight his way for a tough couple of yards. Here's the Bengals defense up front. Geno Atkins coming off a Pro Bowl season. A couple of sacks on Monday night. At linebacker, they lost Thomas Howard with an ACL in practice this week. So the undrafted rookie, Vontaze Burfict, gets the start at the will. Secondary struggled against the Ravens. They'll try to tighten things up back there. Miles moves in as the starter this week at strong safety. Second down, short drop, up the sideline. Massaquoi, incomplete. He was well covered by Nate Clements, the cornerback.
Brandon Wheaton going to the far side, near side, trying to get the one down deep. The one-on-one matchup, went to the right guy, but you got to give him a chance to catch the football. And there you see Pat Shurmur, head coach, calling the plays. Upstairs is Brad Childress, the offensive coordinator. A team effort trying to get a young quarterback to settle down and make some throws.
3rd and 8. Opening possession. Wheaton sacked. Michael Johnson pulled him down.
Well, that was not the most vicious sack you'll ever see. Michael Johnson really just tripped him. As Wheaton steps up in the pocket, has got his eyes down the field. You see Michael Johnson just whips around with his leg and he trips him right with his back heel right there. And that counts.
So that brings up 4th down. Adam Jones is back deep for Cincinnati. Good high punt. Jones retreats to the 19, makes the first man miss. Has some running room, gets the edge. Adam Jones! Adam Jones will score!
Well, through all his long and sordid and well-documented history, the one thing Adam Jones has always been able to do is run with the football. And when you give him space like this on a punt return, you find out that's the reason there's always somebody willing to give him a 2nd and 3rd and 4th chance. Adam Jones, who has come a long way in his career, coming through for the Bengals here today.
Phil Dawson. Mike Nugent, rather. And it's good. So the Bengals strike quickly. Adam Jones, 81 yards on the punt return. 7-0 Cincinnati. Fifth career punt return for a touchdown for Adam Jones. It's hard not to call him Pac-Man, but he's entered a new phase in his career.
Yeah, he's kind of outgrown the Pac-Man moniker, and he's playing really good football for Marvin Lewis.
And that is his first return of a punt for a touchdown for the Cincinnati Bengals, and his first since 2006 with the Titans. Mike Nugent ready to kick it off. Josh Cribbs again back deep. 7-0 Cincinnati. Couple yards deep in the end zone. Cribbs trying to answer. And hurdles his way out to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, a moment ago, Adam Jones catches this punt. The return guy's always going to have to make one guy miss, and he does right as he catches it. Now watch right here as there's too many levels in the coverage. As you see the guys spread out, the Browns players leave a big gap in their coverage. Jones exploits it, and then once you get in the open field, there's just too much space with a guy who is that fast for people to tackle him.
After the 38-yard kick return, Richardson for a couple.
We spoke to Richardson just yesterday, excuse me, Bill, and he was the guy who came in and real quiet, unassuming young guy, but he's also a lot like Whedon. He knows he can play better, wants to play better. They're going to give him, and they're going to feed him the football. He's not going anywhere. So he's going to have to get used to carrying the load of this offense, and they have no qualms about using him in a big way.
Offset I, shaded to the left, 2nd and 8. Play action, Whedon stands in and fires. That's caught by Massaquoi and into Cincinnati territory. Jeremy Miles, starting today at strong safety, made the stop. First down for Cleveland, pickup of 19 yards.
And that's the kind of throw that Whedon really didn't make last week. Just a simple crossing route, good pass protection. Offensive line did their job, and Whedon stepped up into the pocket, delivered the football right on the money.
From the 43-yard line, Whedon from the shotgun. Pump fake, lots of time, over the middle. Almost intercepted, was trying to hit Greg Little. And that was nearly picked off by Leon Hall.
Well, that was an underthrow. You got to throw that to the back of the end zone. It's well executed, as you see. Little is open, and that just gives enough time for Hall to get there. And there you see Josh Gordon wide open. Somebody forgot to cover him. But let's make no mistake, the play was called so that Little could get open down the middle, and he was if Whedon can get the ball out there.
Richardson fights his way down inside the 40, close to the 38-yard line.
Already you can see both of these clubs settling down from the ups and downs they had a week ago. Obviously, if you throw away the punt return that Jones just put up on the Browns, this offense already looks more formidable than it did. Whedon making the nice crossing throw, threatening them downfield even though he underthrew it a little bit, and now Richardson finding some room that really wasn't there last week.
Chris Obanaya has checked in. Richardson is out on 3rd and 5. Whedon gets rid of it, and that's caught by Greg Little. Another first down for the Browns. Nate Clements made the tackle after a pickup of 12.
And this is what an NFL quarterback has to do. Whedon stands right in the pocket, never leaves the center of the pocket, has to throw it, can't even follow through on the throw, still delivers it. I'll tell you, that's hard to do for a quarterback. It's the hardest lesson for a young quarterback. Stand in the pocket, take the hit, and make the throw. Great play by Whedon.
Gives you an idea of his arm strength as well. Able to put a little zip on it. Play action, lots of time again. A flag is down, incomplete. That was intended for the tight end, Ben Watson.
Yeah,
check the marker.
Going to be a hold.
Holding, number 66 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Sean Laval, the right guard. Jerry Hughes is our replacement referee today.
Well, that's the kind of mistake it's hard to overcome. And this is the kind of thing that keeps teams from improving more steadily, is the mental mistake and a hold like this on a drive when you need points.
Browns are in many ways where the Bengals were a year ago, solid defensively, counting on some young guys to step up. They have rookies at quarterback, running back, right tackle, and a second-year wide receiver, Richardson. Left side, not much running room.
A little bit of a conservative play call on 1st and 20. Off tackle left for a gain of 1. I was a little surprised, and Pat Shurmur told us he was a little surprised that Richardson got so many carries a week ago, even though he had coming off a knee surgery during the preseason. He tried to get him out of the game, just couldn't do it. And Richardson wanted to play, felt good, and coming off of that game, felt fine physically. And everybody's told us he is much better physically every day this week than he was a week ago.
Play action. Whedon will take off and brought down from behind at about the 32-yard line by Geno Atkins.
That was a good play by Whedon. You could just see the sack strip coming from the right side of your screen, working against Michael Johnson once again, who's already got 1 sack. He almost got the football. Whedon does a nice job of protecting it and making something out of nothing. Gives him a chance on 3rd and 15 instead of turning the football over.
So 3rd and long. Browns trying to answer the early punt return for a touchdown. Whedon, incomplete. Was trying to hit the rookie out of Baylor, Josh Gordon.
And this is the throw Whedon's got to make. As Gordon comes out of this, right here you see a ball's got to get right there. And a lot of that is chemistry and experience between the two receivers, the receiver and the quarterback. Whedon's got to trust that he's going to be there. Gordon's got to be in the place where the quarterback thinks he's going to be. And without a lot of reps, that's a hard pass. Even though it's a simple out pattern, it's a hard pass to complete.
Phil Dawson playing in his 201st career game. Hit 3 field goals last week. On its way, and good. From 50 yards out, Dawson gets the Browns on the scoreboard. 9:01 left to go in the first 7-3. 9 plays, the 50-yard field goal by Dawson, putting the Browns on the board with 9:01 left to go in the first. Early fireworks from the Bengals. The 81-yard punt return by Adam Jones. So the Bengals have yet to run a play on offense. Ready to do that for the first time. Brandon Tate is back deep. 5 yards deep in the end zone. He brings it out. And the flag is down as he brings it out just across the 20-yard line, and we'll check the penalty. Beautiful day here in Cincinnati.
On the return, holding, number 51 on the return team. Half the distance, first down.
Dan Skuda, linebacker playing on special teams. Andy Dalton coming off a spectacular season where he took the Bengals to the playoffs and alternate to the Pro Bowl. Threw for almost 3,400 yards as a rookie and engineered 4 fourth-quarter comebacks. High formation to start for Cincinnati. Green Ellis, the deep back, and a whistle before the snap.
Full start, number 84 of the offense. Half the distance, still first down.
Jermaine Gresham whistled for the infraction. The Bengals have already had some injury issues up front. Zeitler is the rookie who they think can be a fixture at right guard. Jeff Bain has stepped in at center and done well. The backs and receivers, and Jarvis Green Ellis from the Patriots, close to 100 yards in his debut Monday night. A.J. Green coming off a great rookie season. He'll test the Cleveland secondary without Joe Hayden today, their shutdown corner. First and 15 after the penalty. Armand Benz with some nice yards after the catch out across the 15 to the 17-yard line. The Cleveland defense, big plays last week against the Eagles. They're without Phil Taylor, but Ataba Rubin has developed into one of the unsung defensive tackles in the league. The linebackers can fly and make plays. They have Scott Fajita back today, and in the secondary, Hayden is out with the 4-week suspension. Dimitri Patterson starts in his place. T.J. Ward is the big-time playmaker at strong safety. Second and short. Second and 3 for Cincinnati. Their opening possession on offense from Jarvis Green Ellis for a couple.
Green Ellis, you got an idea of what kind of runner he is. No frills. He runs it and bangs it right up in there, and you see there Jeff Fain, the center, trying to clear the way for him. Jeff Fain, a guy who's only been a Bengal for about 9 days. And, you know, that's a guy with a lot of experience. He's the perfect guy to kind of plug in there. As you mentioned, the injury, he had to come in and with 2 or 3 days of practice, start in an NFL game for a new football team.
Late signing to replace Kyle Cook. He had only 2 padded practices before having to start last week. So third down, Dalton under pressure. Someone's helmet flies off and he's sacked.
And a penalty flag late.
Jaquay Parker with the sack, losing the hat.
Whenever a guy's helmet comes off, you kind of think it's going to be illegal hands to the face because those helmets don't come off for no reason.
Preliminary signal is that it is going to be against Cleveland. Officials still discussing things.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They called that on Zaquel Jackson.
Yeah, and it must have happened inside the scrum of the sack or the tackle in the backfield. We never saw anything of that, particularly not late. But that's enough to give Cincinnati a first down.
So they move it out to about the 26-yard line. Green Ellis to the 32. Pickup of 5. T.J. Ward made the stop.
Green Ellis of late of the New England Patriots.
Stepping in for Cedric Benson, who gave the Bengals 3 1,000-yard seasons before moving on to Green Bay.
We've been looking on our replay angles about that unnecessary roughness penalty. We haven't found it yet in our replays, or we'd show it to you.
Dalton on the move, fires. Armand Benz with another catch. He was a practice squad player last year. He would simulate guys like Larry Fitzgerald, the other top receivers around the league, and the Bengals realized, hey, this guy's pretty good, and made him a starter this year.
And that play was made by Dalton, just kind of easing out of the pocket. You saw him roll out, keeping his eyes down the field. He became a threat to gain some yardage, and then just found Benz right there. It was a great play, a great job to extend that play by Dalton.
Pickup of 8, so first and 10 from the 40-yard line, and Dalton changing the play. Green Ellis alone in the backfield, short drop. Trying to find anyone open. Now he takes off and dives forward, getting back close to the line of scrimmage.
You know, he did change that play. We spoke to A.J. Green on Friday, and he told us, you know, this is one of the things Dalton can do a lot better this year than last year, is change the play at the line of scrimmage. Unfortunately, he changes the play here, and the Bengals snuff it out. He has no place to go with the football. Whatever he saw, the Browns took away on defense, and he got left holding the football in the pocket.
Second and 10. Green Ellis. Hole on the left side. Near the 45-yard line. Fajita made the stop after a pickup of 4.
You know, so much was expected of this defense and this offense coming in to this season. As you see there, Scott Fujita back in the lineup. So much has been said about his offseason, being suspended for the bounty affair down in New Orleans when he was a player there a few years ago.
Suspension lifted by that 3-person panel last week. He is scheduled to meet with the commissioner on Tuesday. Ryan Leonard has checked in now in the backfield. 3rd and 6 for Cincinnati. And let's see if his forward momentum got him the first down. Perhaps not. Brandon Tate. Greg Robertson wrapped him up in a hurry.
They're going to be just short of the first down. And this will give Marvin Lewis perhaps his first decision of this game. This is one of the things we spoke about in the open. Tate, one of 7 wide receivers on the roster for the Bengals, all very talented. You see here, quick snap.
Quarterback sneak, and looks like he has it.
Yeah, you can see the far side, the official coming in past the marker.
Bengals were out in a hurry, so there was no debate whether or not to go for it. They just went for it and got it.
It looked like, you know, one of the things about that, you see the guy's got to get lined up and not be offsides. It looked to me like Dimitri Patterson was lined up in the neutral zone defensively, but it happened so fast the officials didn't catch it.
So they spotted just into Cleveland territory. Fresh set of downs, first offensive series for the Cincinnati Bengals. Green Ellis cuts it back. Picks up a yard or 2. Both teams trying to avoid starting the season in a hole at 0-2. The Bengals have a little more at stake because they'd be 0-2 in the division after the loss to Baltimore in Week 1.
Marvin Lewis in his 10th season here in Cincinnati. There's so much you forget about the kind of team he took over 10 years ago and what he has been able to do, going to the playoffs with his club last year with a rookie quarterback. Real testament to his ability.
Dalton going to go deep. Overthrows everybody. A.J. Green, the intended receiver. He had a quiet Week 1 by his standards. 5 catches for 70 yards. Eric Hagg had pretty good coverage along with Dimitri Patterson.
You see Hagg grabbing his right arm, holding on to him as Green was headed right by him. Hagg grabs the arm, tries to leverage himself up to be able to keep up with Green and allows the safety to come over. But that obviously, wherever that guy goes on the football field, he's going to have 2 Browns defenders with him.
3rd and 9. Balanced attack on this drive. Inside of 3 minutes remaining in the first. Dalton checks it down, incomplete. Was trying to hit Gresham.
Well, after going for it on 4th and short, they end up with a 4th and 9 to follow that up, and they're going to punt the ball away anyway. And you see Dalton, he kind of short arms this, doesn't follow through because of the pressure right there by Kitchen. And he can't find Gresham on the short throw.
So a 12-play drive comes up empty. Kevin Huber on to punt. Josh Cribbs standing back just inside his own 10-yard line. Over end kick. Fair catch made at the 13-yard line, a 34-yard punt. 7-3 Bengals, 2:39 left to go in the first. 7-3 Cincinnati after the 81-yard punt return by Adam Jones. It's not too late to play NFL.com fantasy football. Sign up today for the official fantasy game of the NFL at NFL.com/fantasy. Browns take over at their own 14-yard line. Richardson alone in the backfield. They give it to him on first down. Little stutter step. Powers his way out across the 20. Trent talked to us about how much he wants to initiate the first contact, how he hates to be tackled by one guy. He said it never happened to him in college at Alabama. But he said these guys on Sunday are a little stronger, a little quicker.
He was surprised that usually it takes 2 guys to tackle him. He said one guy can tackle me in the NFL, and usually it took 1 or 2 or 3 in college.
Number 82 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
After the pickup of 7, they'll move him back 5. Ben Watson called for the infraction, and he sort of announced himself last week in the NFL. Remember this hit?
Bang. I think Coleman's going to remember that hit. And for those watching at home, take it from a guy who's received a bunch of those. Yeah, it hurt.
Kurt Coleman, the Eagles safety, on the end of that blow. 2nd and 8. Richardson turning his legs back to the 21-yard line, a gain of 5.
He gets that 5-yard penalty right back, and he looked already, Richardson looks better than he did a week ago. They had a little doubts as to how good he was going to be, how much they were going to give him the football. Hadn't played because of the knee surgery, was just back in practice a week ago. Pat Shermer said, I really thought, we were going to take him out of the game at certain points, but they really never could. He looked strong, felt good, and they went with him.
Chris Obanaya has checked in. Richardson, 6 carries, 22 yards. Whedon underneath. This is going to be a first down. Massaquoi out to the 34-yard line.
You hear this. This is Massaquoi coming across, the guy that Whedon told us yesterday. He's the guy that Whedon feels best about throwing the football to. Trusts him more. They have a better chemistry. They think alike. Like I said earlier, a quarterback and a receiver need to know each other very well, and these two guys, Massaquoi and Whedon, seem to have that chemistry more than the others.
First down. Richardson tries to bounce it outside. Picks up 4. Leon Hall made the stop.
Well, in these first 2 possessions for the Browns, they already look markedly better than they did a week ago. No question they're playing against a different defense, a different type of defense. Philadelphia a little bit undersized, very fast. This Bengal defense, big and powerful and very much a point of attack defense.
2nd and 6 as we near the end of the first quarter. Play action for Whedon. Lots of time up the sideline. Intended for Alex Smith, who had a step. Vontez Perfect, starting at the will today, had the coverage.
It was a pretty good throw by Whedon, and good coverage really all over the football field. All his receivers had somebody on him. He kind of fits this in, and you'd love to see your guy catch that. Yeah, it would have been a great, spectacular diving catch, but man, oh man, you can really help your young quarterback out by making a play for him. He fit that ball in there pretty well.
Last play of the quarter. 3rd and 6 for Cleveland. And they're going to take a timeout with 1 second left in the opening quarter. Back with more from Cincinnati after the Ohio River on this beautiful Sunday, and watch fantasy football today to get game time player news, inactive updates to help set your lineups, and chat with our experts live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network and at cbssports.com/live. 1 second left in the first. Browns excited about some of these young players. They think they can be pretty special. Cleveland with one of the youngest rosters in the NFL with 15 rookies or first-year players and 11 second-year players. They started 6 rookies in the opener last week. Came very close to winning it against an Eagle team that a lot of people think is pretty good. 3rd and 6. Obanaya in the backfield with Whedon. Underneath. Greg Little trying to fight his way
they got him close
for a first down. And that's the end of the first quarter. Bengals lead at 7-3. We'll return to Cincinnati after these messages. Ready to start the second quarter, and it will begin with a 4th down as Greg Little was about a foot shy of the yardage necessary to get a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, some of the It's frustrating for some fans. Why does the guy run short of the first down to catch the ball? One thing is to make sure you get a completion and give the guy a chance to fight for it. It's no good to go past the sticks and then lower your percentage of completion from the quarterback. So Pat Shurmur electing to try and get one of his big receivers the ball in his hands with a little bit of space, and he almost made it, but was just short. I mean, it was 6 inches short of the first down, and now it forces the punt.
Adam Jones, not deep again, standing back about the 10-yard line, ready for the Reggie Hodges punt. Not sure what the delay is.
And they had to measure, then flip the ball over to the other end of the field. Now they're getting it right.
All organized. Hands up in the air. Jones with some running room, but pushed out of bounds near the 26-yard line. So underway in the second quarter, 7-3. Bengals, a 40-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Bengals with only one offensive possession in the first quarter. They had that 12-play drive, but no points. And they will start from the 26-yard line. High formation, Green Ellis, the deep back. And again, Dalton opting to change the play. Trying to get to the edge with Jarvis Green Ellis stacked up.
And there you see, second quarter here is when the Bengals have really put it on the Cleveland Browns in the past 8 games. Really dominated that.
Browns with 5 turnovers in week 1. That was a point of emphasis for Cleveland in the offseason. It paid dividends, keeping them in the game against the Eagles. They had every opportunity to start the season with a big upset. Green Ellis in the flat. He powers his way close to a first down.
And that's one thing that Green Ellis gives this club that they've really lacked, is a guy that can pass protect as well as pass catch. Green Ellis coming out of the backfield, very steady hands, intelligent player, picked up the offense, rarely makes a mental mistake, and like we said in the open, he never takes a negative play. You see some running backs, they take that -5-yard run, get hit behind the line of scrimmage. Never seems to happen with Green Ellis.
Craig Robertson made the stop, a pickup of 8, and that was good enough to move the chains. So first and 10 from the 36. Dalton wanted to run the slant. It wasn't there, so tried to make something and comes just short of getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication on the outside. He was looking to throw the football very quickly, and watch, he had 7 guys in the box, a little play action, and just as he starts to set his feet, he realizes that A.J. Green has taken off down the field, and there's nobody out there to throw it to.
So a loss of 1. Second and 11 for the Bengals. They lead it 7-3, just over 13 minutes left to go in the half. Dalton. And again, it's Benz with a big play and a first down.
Well, this is an interesting formation for the Bengals because A.J. Green's not on the football field. Benz comes on, takes his spot on the outside, gets the one-on-one, and just gets right by Buster Screen. Bump and run is great when you get contact with the receiver. Benz does a fantastic job of just whiffing Buster Screen on the bump and run. So many times young receivers can't do that. Great job by Benz on that.
Nice little bit of running for Jarvis Green Ellis to the 41-yard line. T.J. Ward made the stop after a pickup of 4.
We've spoken so much about the roster of these Bengals. They've got so many good wide receivers, guys that can get open. Guys like A.J. Green, of course, we saw Andrew Hawkins last week do some really good things with the ball in his hands, and they've got some big guys as well with Benz and the rest. This is a team that's really loaded at the skill positions, and it's up to Dalton to get them the football.
2nd and 6, short drop, there's the slant. A.J. Green down to the 29-yard line, a gain of 12.
And with the Cleveland Browns secondary without Joe Hayden, who is a quality top-flight corner, you know, they're trying to kind of all hands on deck this receiving core for the Bengals, and the Browns throwing guys in there, making sure they've got the guys lined up right. But you can see, look at the cushion at the top of your screen.
Back to the ground, big hole for Ben-Jarvis Green. Ellis down to the 10-yard line. A gain of 19. Eric Hagg saved the touchdown.
Yeah, the Browns defensive backs are so deep in coverage. When Green Ellis gets by the front 7, there's a lot of space there. You see Screen coming in, trying from the corner. He had a 10-yard cushion, so it's going to be a 10-yard gain no matter what. And it gets all the way down to Hagg, who finally makes the tackle.
So it'll be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Cedric Kierman has checked in. Bernard Scott's still not ready to go. They think maybe next week. That is caught. A.J. Green, touchdown. What a move by A.J. Green to get in the end zone.
Had a sensational rookie season a year ago, and there's a reason for it. The guy is physically gifted, intelligent, great feel, great instincts as a wide receiver, and you see it on this play.
Nugent on to try the extra point. Boots it through. And it is a 14-3 Cincinnati lead. A.J. Green quiet in the first quarter. Comes to life here in the second period. Touchdown, Bengals. A.J. Green with his first touchdown of the season. 10-yard strike from Andy Dalton, who was 4 of 4 for 50 yards and the touchdown on that drive.
And they had 4 plays of 12 or more yards on that drive.
Josh Cribbs standing in his own end zone. 3 yards deep, he brings it out. Brought down near the 23-yard line. And that's where Cleveland will start 1st and 10 when we return to Cincinnati. An impressive drive for the Cincinnati Bengals as they lead it here in the second, 14-3.
Pretty good balance there, as you see.
But this is not what you want with a young quarterback and a young running back. You don't want to put it on their shoulders. Browns trying to answer. Short drop for Whedon. They run the slant. Little takes it out to the 32-yard line.
You look back at that touchdown. Look at the cushion that these receivers are commanding from the defensive backs of the Browns. They've gotten that because they're getting deep on them. They've got to respect the speed, but it gives up the short pass. And with a guy with the athletic ability of Green, it's hard to do both, to guard the short pass and give up the fade over the top, or protect against the fade and come up and make the tackle.
Whedon had to get rid of it early. Tried to hit Marisic, the fullback, but he was under pressure immediately.
And Marisic wasn't ready for the football. Whedon had to get rid of it. He's got to catch that. Got around on him.
Jeremy Miles, Steve, was coming on the safety blitz.
Right. Whedon sees it in time, gets rid of it, makes a pretty good throw. But it is a little quick. And you see there, you can't put it any better than that. And Marisic just isn't ready for it.
3rd and 2. Obanaya has checked in at the running back. Massaquoi, the motion man, trying to get it to Obanaya, and they do, and he's got a first down, slipping around the 40-yard line.
There's a late flag.
And we have a marker down.
Very late.
Play was good for 9 yards.
You know, it's interesting to think about this Browns offense and how, up in the air it was last week.
Personal foul, number 29 on the defense. Helmet-to-helmet contact. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Call it on Leon Hall.
And this Browns offense in the position today, particularly in a hole like this against the Bengals. And you got to remember, they're on the road at a home opener for a division team or playoff team last year. And there's
that's a tough one.
I don't know.
Guy slipped. You'd already sort of initiated your move, but it was helmet to helmet.
That's a hard one to stand.
From the shotgun, and now we have a flag before the snap.
Full stop. Number 73 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 2. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
And the point I was trying to make about Wheaton and this offense, they could play much better than they did a week ago and lose by more points in a game like this.
From the 49-yard line, they run the screen. Alex Smith, the tight end, and he's got a first down. Jeremy Miles made the stop, and let's get you to New York for an NFL update from Week 2.
Bill and Steve, take a look at this Dan Marino-like throw.
Oh, thanks, JB. Off of Eli Manning, interception. Josh Freedom, perfect throw to Vincent Jackson, 29 yards for a touchdown. Tampa up 10-6.
Vince Jackson, 3 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Bill and Steve.
JB and Dan, thank you very much. First and 10, the delay to Richardson with running room. Trent Richardson will score.
Is it me, or are there some Cleveland Brown fans in the house? Well, this is what they were looking for. Nice delay. He's going to follow his guy, Alex Mack, the center, right up the gut, and then bounces it to the outside. And this is a guy we're talking about in practice. He told us he ran too high in last week's game. And in practice this week, he was hiding behind that offensive line, and he did it right there.
32 yards for his first NFL touchdown, and he makes it memorable with a little off-kilter somersault. Browns are in the end zone. "32 yards on the touchdown run, his first in the National Football League, as Trent Richardson announces himself here in Cincinnati. That was a terrific run, cutting to the outside. And the Browns right back in it, 14-10, 8:05 left to go in the half.
And already the Browns have to look around and say we feel a lot better about where their offense is. Their quarterback looks much more steady in the pocket, much more sure of himself, making much better throws. And of course, Richardson on that run showed why he was a number 3 overall pick of the draft.
Cleveland able to answer the touchdown pass from Andy Dalton to A.J. Green with a 32-yard touchdown run by Trent Richardson. Pac-Man brings it out from about 9 yards deep in the end zone. And Adam Jones out across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Let's take another look at the touchdown run.
Yeah, notice Alex Mack, the center, is going to move out and get a hat right here, and Richardson's going to follow him up, bounce it, great blocks on the outside. As this play develops, everybody gets into the act, and if you're going to run the football in the NFL, everybody's got a block. You see the 2 outside receivers pushing the defenders inside and gives Richardson the sideline for him to use his speed to the end zone.
Cincinnati takes over at their own 23-yard line, 1st and 10, midway through the second quarter. Dalton. Armand Benz had it, but so did the defender for the Cleveland Browns.
And this is the strongest guy gets it. We'll see what the officials say. If it's dual possession, the offense keeps it. Yeah, and the offense is going to hang on to it.
Dimitri Patterson got his hands on it as well.
You can see here they both get their hands on it, and it's all about leverage. And wow, there you go. He got it. He gets it. Yeah, that's a great job by Benz.
Results in an 18-yard gain and a first down for Cincinnati. Green Ellis to the 45-yard line, a gain of 4.
And really, the rule says if it's dual possession, the offense keeps it. But you can see there, it's the impact of the ground, the leverage of the players, and really once they start to pile up, it's whoever gets it. Forget what the officials say. Whoever grabs it and can wiggle their way out of a pile is going to get possession of the football.
And Jarvis Green Ellis alone in the backfield. They will give it to him. Fights his way for a tough yard. He'll bring up third down.
Well, he had to avoid Frosty Rucker in the backfield.
Missed the last 3 preseason games with a foot injury, but showed nice burst last week. One of the reasons that Marvin wanted him here in Cincinnati. Frosty Rucker, former Bengal, spent 6 seasons here in Cincinnati. Ryan Leonard has checked in, empty backfield. Leonard is in the slot at the top of the screen. Well, showing blitz. They back out of it, just rush forward, and Marker is down. Incomplete over the middle for Benz.
I'm surprised there's no flag on that. There's going to be a defensive offsides anyway.
And he is slow getting up.
There's a lot of things going on this play. There was a player on the defense. The corner was lined up offsides. I believe it was Dimitri Patterson lined up in the neutral zone, and that looked to me like a hit on a defenseless receiver. DeQuell Jackson really laid Benz out. And you can see there, he's having to be helped off the field. And I think that it may
Offside. Neutral zone infraction, number 43 on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
They called that on T.J. Ward.
Well, it's not. It's right here. He's lined up. Oh, his head and shoulders are over the ball.
That would be Dimitri Patterson.
And at the end, this is Benz on the route. He's going to come on the crossing route, and watch DeQuell Jackson.
Ooh, right underneath the face mask.
And it looked worse in real time than it did right there. I got to be honest with you.
Well, maybe for you.
Yeah, that's
you're used to that.
Because it wasn't me.
Look at this. Oh
yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's a finable offense to me. It's not, and it wasn't even flagged.
So the result is a first down for Cincinnati. Dalton going deep, incomplete, and we may have pass interference. Marvin Jones, the rookie out of Cal, was the intended receiver.
Well, Buster Skrine was trying his best. Skrine, the 5th-round draft pick a year ago, in for Joe Hayden, as we've said, and Dalton is going at him.
Pass interference, number 22 on the defense. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
They call that on Buster Skrine. Skrine starting today for Sheldon Brown.
That's right, and of course working against Jones, as you said, you see him trying to bang into him, and the pass was out of reach, and the official deemed that it would have been reachable had he not been interfered with.
That was a 31-yard penalty. So for the Bengals, 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 18-yard line. And we have movement before the snap.
False start, number 71 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Big Andre Smith, the right tackle.
This is a spot at the field. As you look at Marvin Lewis, and he knew that this Brown defense really played well in this area of the field against Philadelphia. This is where the Browns defense really rose up. They gave up a lot of yards, but when Philly got down to their end zone, they didn't let them in.
Jarvis Green Ellis down close to the 20. Some pushing and shoving. still going on. That was a pickup of 2.
Well, lest you forget, this is a division game. These guys play each other twice a year, every year, rain or shine. And some animosity grows in those situations.
There's been a little bit of a face mask there as Green Ellis lost his helmet. 2nd and 13. Brian Leonard in the game. Dalton from the shotgun. Leonard stays in the block. Lofts it to the end zone. Incomplete. Was trying to hit Andrew Hawkins, who had a breakthrough game in week 1 with 8 catches for 86 yards, but quiet today.
They're working against Trevin Wade, who was not even active a week ago for the Browns. But with Joe Hayden out, he's in. He's a 7th round draft choice this year. And I'll tell you, you can see the defensive backs of the Browns, they are really trying to get physical with these receivers of the Bengals, trying to hold them up, trying to negate their speed by just getting in their way and not giving them a 3 run.
Cincinnati offense facing a 3rd and 13. Dalton again to the end zone. Incomplete. Green was the intended receiver.
Having real trouble finding the spot is Andy Dalton. He has time. The Browns bring a lot of people, but they go max protection. There's 4 guys in the route. They've got 6 protectors, and Dalton is his own protector as he gets rid of the football. You can see he misses by that much. Double coverage on the out and up to Green, just can't connect. Tough completion, but it's also a throw that you got to keep on the football field.
39-yard field goal triumph coming from Mike Nugent, coming off an outstanding season last year, and he drills it. Bengals come away with 3. 4:45 left to go in the first half. 17-10 Cincinnati. Bengals trying to start the season as they did under Marvin Lewis in 2009 when they had a week 1 loss to Denver, but then rebounded and went on to win the AFC North. That was that wild ending with the deflected pass that ended up going 87 yards for a touchdown in the closing seconds, giving Denver the win 12-7. Bengals on top here by a touchdown. 4:45 left to go in the opening half. Gibbs brings it out. And brought down short of the 20. Well, nobody knows the game like a quarterback. Don't miss Phil Simms, Rich Gannon, and Steve Berline on NFL Monday Quarterback tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
I should have played quarterback. Then I'd have my own show.
Seven times in the Pro Bowl and special teams. You deserve your own show.
Problem is when you play special teams, you can't remember your lines.
First down, the delay to Richardson. Richardson 9 carries, 61 yards here in the first half. That was good for 3. Good drive, culminating with the Trent Richardson touchdown the last time the Browns had the football.
And at this point in the early going, Richardson, let alone from the touchdown run, he's also getting positive yards on 1st and 2nd down, which really helps Whedon.
Whedon has some time over the middle. Greg Little, and they're saying he dropped the football.
The players are saying it. The officials,
here we go. Came running in and said, yes, it was incomplete, waving it off.
Back judge came in from deep. As a former player, I always look at the reaction of the players, and the reaction of the players said it all. It was an incomplete pass.
So 3rd and 7 for the Browns in this latest edition of the Battle of Ohio. The rookie Whedon. This is going to be a first down. Obaniah with a big play and a fumble. The Bengals have it. Michael Johnson.
Well, the one thing that can't happen if you're a team trying to find itself offensively is to cough the ball up. Obaniah, the great catch and run, and then gets hit right on the button. A great hit by Newman, right on the football, and the ball pops out. Of course, Michael Johnson right there to jump on it. The pursuit of the defensive lineman coming down after the play really made it for the Bengals. Great shot by Terrence Newman, the cornerback. Obaniah, guilty of the fumble, had it tucked away, but when the defender comes in full force right on the football, it'll come out.
So 1st and 10 now in Cleveland territory. Green Ellis picking his way inside the 40, and we have a marker down.
Holding, number 84 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Jermaine Gresham called for the penalty, so they'll move them back and back into Cincinnati territory. First and 20, short drop, incomplete. A.J. Green couldn't haul it in.
And that was a low ball as well from Dalton on the slant. And that's a ball that they've only thrown probably 6,000 times between the two of them. And Dalton just lets this go, hangs on to it a hair long, and it just throws into the dirt. You see him go down. Not bad, not a bad throw. You got to catch that, A.J. Green.
We get word that Billy Wynn, the rookie defensive tackle for the Browns, has a head injury. He will not return. Eric Hagg with an eye injury. His return is questionable. On 2nd down, underneath, Gresham fights his way just inside the 45 to the 44, a pickup of 9.
And that's on 2nd and 19 or so. That's the thought for Marvin Lewis and the offense of the Bengals. Just get half of it and give yourself at least an opportunity to pick it up on 3rd, which leaves a 3rd and about 11. Not easy, but it's certainly better than 3rd and 20.
And after the costly penalty on Gresham. 3rd and 11. Dalton, nowhere to go. He takes off and slides down at the 40. Well shy of the 1st down. Pickup of 4 as we have reached the 2-minute warning. 17-10 Bengals here in Cincinnati. Bengals have not converted a 3rd down today, 0 for 5, but still lead by 7. Facing a 4th down. Kevin Huber coming off best season of his career, punting it away to Josh Cribbs. And that is down inside the 10, close to the 5-yard line by Andrew Hawkins. And coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 2. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. So they'll start at their own 7-yard line.
Well, for all the negativity coming out of Cleveland about the state of their offense a week ago, it has been anything but that. They have played much, much better today and actually stopped themselves with the fumble by Obaniah on the last drive. They have put up some good numbers and have been very, very steady offensively.
Richardson keeps his feet out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Jeremy Miles made the stop. And that was close to a 9-yard gain.
And we spoke to Brad Childress, the offensive coordinator of the Browns. He said, last week, day by day, after coming back from the surgery, Richardson was a little better and a little better. This week, he said he was markedly better.
20 carries for 70 yards. Great penetration that time by the Bengals defense. Domata-Peko got in the backfield, and now we have a flag because something went flying. It may have been a shoe, perhaps?
There is no flag. There is no penalty.
Why did the flag come out? Oh, well.
Whatever it was, they got off the field.
Well, Richardson's got to come out off the field now because his shoe is off. And Domata Peko is the guy who pulled it off and threw it to the back of the end
This
zone.
will be a 30-second timeout.
So timeout on the field. Just over a minute left in the opening half here in Cincinnati. And we're back. Let's take another look at what happened on the previous play, and it was a shoe. Trent Richardson's shoe.
And that was, well, getting to the back. That was no accident that the shoe ended up in the back of the end zone.
So the shoe has been replaced for Richardson. It's 3rd and 2, 1:18 left to go in the second quarter. Whedon rolling out, lots of time. Sends it to Massaquoi at the sideline, and he makes the catch.
Outstanding
First down.
play. Outstanding play. Great job by Massaquoi. Whedon is very, very patient. Look at the lane he throws that into, right on the money. Great 3rd down conversion. Working hard there against Terrence Newman, the veteran corner. Massaquoi makes the grab. Great route, great separation.
Good for 18 yards, but the clock continues to run. Just over 40 seconds left.
And Pat Shurmur has got a question. Yeah, and they started the clock, and the clock is supposed to stop and stay stopped when a player goes out of bounds. And the official wound the clock.
Trying to sort things out. Jerry Hughes, our replacement referee.
Well, as the officials in college, the clock would start,
Please
not here.
reset the game clock to 54 seconds. The receiver ran out of bounds. The clock should have stopped.
And that's what Pat Shurmur was saying. It's supposed to be a timeout. So they'll put a few seconds back on the clock.
Well,
that's
they put a
incorrect,
minute
by the way.
54. That's not right.
That will be changed. There you go.
There.
So let's see what the rookie quarterback and the rookie running back can do with this amount of time. Greg Little just in his second year, the second-round draft pick a year ago out of North Carolina. Young guys in key positions for these Cleveland Browns. Obanaya is back in the game, in the backfield. Back from a sprained ankle in preseason. Whedon under pressure. He's going to be sacked. Vincent Ray on the second wave in, a loss of 8.
And now the Bengals will take a timeout to stop the clock.
Nowhere to go. So timeout on the field. 17-10 Bengals. 48 seconds remaining in the first half. 2nd and 18. Cleveland from their own 25-yard line. They'll run it. Richardson fights his way to the 35.
Once again, Cincinnati burns a timeout. Trent Richardson showing a little bit of ability to push the pile right there. Gets him into a 3rd and maybe.
39 seconds left in the half. Cincinnati hoping to get another opportunity. 39 seconds left to go in the opening half. Bengals lead it 17-10.
And really the only difference is the Adam Jones punt return, and this game is to be tied.
Whedon 9 of 15 for 121 yards. They'll run it. Another flag. Trent Richardson would have the first down, but let's check the penalty.
This looks like it's going to be a hold. Yeah, it's going to go against the Browns.
Holding, number 73 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's Joe Thomas, going to the Pro Bowl in each of his first 5 seasons in the NFL.
Right in front, as you see there. Let me tell you, Michael Johnson has given Joe Thomas all he could handle today. Got a sack early and then grabs the holding penalty right there, although Trent Richardson on a nice run would have gotten the first down. Joe Thomas is a left tackle that you can set and forget. That guy is very good.
7 penalties, 81 yards for Cleveland. Richardson again trying to take some time off the clock, get us to halftime. That'll bring up 4th down.
And that'll be it, because the Bengals have used their timeouts and the Browns are not interested in punting to Adam Jones. You know, as I mentioned, this was a very even game offensively and defensively, and the difference was that Adam Jones' punt return, Browns looking better offensively, more steady, made some plays when they needed to, kept on the field, put together a nice drive. And of course the Bengals, you know, Andy Dalton in week 1 and week 2 has shown flashes of his Pro Bowl alternate self from a year ago, but has also missed some throws, a couple of them in the end zone today.
Dalton 9 of 14 for 102 yards and the 10-yard touchdown pass to A.J. Green. As usual in the Battle of Ohio, great physical action, and it's a 1-touchdown ball game here at halftime. 17-10 Cincinnati. And we'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on
Gangnam Style.
17-10 Bengals here at halftime. Bill McAtee back with Steve Tasker. And your thoughts, Stephen, on the first half? Pretty tight and physical as we would expect.
Yeah, very evenly played. The difference is a turnover by the Browns and a punt return given up by the Browns by Adam Jones. That's really the difference in the game. Both offenses managing to stay on the field, put together a few long drives, even though some of them didn't pay off. The one drive by Cincinnati, a lot of big plays in it, 4 plays, over 12 yards. That's really the difference.
All right, let's take a look now at our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Action from the first half. The touchdown pass from Andy Dalton to A.J. Green as they hook up for 10 yards. DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam and the numbers from the first half.
Now you see there the Browns doing an outstanding job running the football, and really the penalties and the turnover and the punt return are really keeping the Browns from leading this football game. Looking very good, much better than they did a week ago in a loss to Philadelphia.
Bengals will have it to start the second half. Brandon Tate is back deep, waiting the kickoff from Phil Dawson. Bengals by a touchdown, and here we go. Half number 2. Out of the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. The 78th Battle of Ohio. Andy Dalton back to work. 9 of 14 for 102 yards and a touchdown in the first half. And a look at the first half possessions for the Bengals.
And you see there, the top 3, 12 plays, 8 plays, 7 plays, that's what you're really looking for. Even though the first one ended in a punt, 12 plays means you're having some success and staying on the football field offensively. And really, when you have plays like that, it's you stopping yourself, not the defense stopping you. So you got to feel good about that if you're the Bengals.
43 yards on 10 carries for Jarvis Green Ellis, and he'll get the football to start action here in the second half. Scott Fujita made the stop. He's back this week following the lifting of the suspension by that 3-person panel last week. He missed the last 3 preseason games with a knee injury, but starting today.
It's not like he's been gone from the team. He has been practicing, had a full preseason, at least of being around, even though, as mentioned, he was injured. It's not like he just kind of parachuted in for this game. He has been around, knows what he's doing. He was here a year ago as well, although he missed most of the season last year with a hand injury.
After the pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. Opening possession of the second half. A.J. Green pushed out of bounds around the 32-yard line by Buster Screen. That was good for 10 yards.
Well, as you can see there, A.J. Green lines up, and the defensive backs like screen, they just have to play off of him so far in order to cope with the speed and the explosion he comes off the line with. The Bengals are going to take those short routes all day, and as soon as the Browns start to crowd him at the line of scrimmage, as they're doing right here at the top, you know they're going to go deep on him.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. And Dalton didn't have a chance to quell Jackson, and Scott Fujita were in the backfield in a hurry, and it has been physical. That's a big hit. Guys losing their hats. Shoes being flung into the end zone. We've got a little bit of everything. 2nd and 13. Dalton to the sideline. That's caught. Brandon Tate with a big play.
And once again, going right at Buster Screen on the far side, this time with Tate. On the bump and run, you see Screen not so averse as to coming up and crowding a guy like Tate. When A.J. Green's over there, Screen playing off of him, but then even so, Tate managing to get separation and catch it. No doubt, Screen in the game due to a suspension, really getting picked on this afternoon.
22 yards on the play into Cleveland territory. 1st and 10. Here they come on the blitz. They keep it on the ground. Green Ellis lowers his shoulder. Gets down near the 43-yard line. That was good for 5 yards.
Yeah, most of the time when the Browns have shown blitz pre-snap, Dalton has changed the play and changed it to a run play. They're running right at the blitz. Well, actually, they spy where the blitz is going to go, and then they run to the opposite side of the formation. If the blitz is coming to the offensive left, Dalton changes the play and runs right. They've just run away from the blitz. And if Dalton sees it early enough, they'll continue to do that here as they gain 3 and good solid 4 yards on that play.
2nd and 5. Dalton with time, slings it, and out of bounds over the head of A.J. Green, and Dimitri Patterson had good coverage on the play. That's why Dalton threw it away.
Yeah, he threw it away. A.J. Green comes off, and this is typical of a receiver. He does the stop and go, and Patterson wants no part of it. He's not going to bite on the short route. And Green, when you're running as a receiver and you're going deep and the guy's 5 yards behind you and you've got no chance to catch him, it's hard to keep running for no reason. You know you're not open. You know the quarterback is not going to try and complete that ball to you, and that's why Dalton threw it away.
3 catches, 32 yards, including the touchdown. 3rd and 5. Dalton. Oh, he's got Tate. Touchdown. Brandon Tate.
You see right on the outside, we've been talking about it through the first half, how many quality wide receivers Marvin Lewis can field with this Bengals roster. They kept 7 on the active roster because they really couldn't afford to let any of them go. They're all great players. They go very deep into their roster with great players like Tate. He's not even one of the top 3 guys, and yet he gets open going man-to-man against Eric Hagg.
And 44 yards on the touchdown. Dalton to Tate.
And they're going to review this to see perhaps if he, stepped out of bounds. We'll see.
Well, they take a look. We'll step aside early in the second half. We're back awaiting the review of the apparent touchdown reception by Brandon Tate. Let's take a look.
And you'll see it is very close. From this angle, it looks like, wow, maybe he did step on that line from that angle. But if you see it from a different angle, right here, maybe not so much. I think this may get overturned if they see. This is a close call. Wow, even with close-ups.
After further review, the play stands as called on the field. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Not enough conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the field. It was that close.
And I think it was a good idea to look at it, but I think from right there, there's not a lot of daylight there, but I think that's a good no changeover. I think that his foot was inbounds.
Nugent on to try the extra point to make it a 24-10 ball game. And that's where we are, and the Bengals finally convert on a third down, and it was a big one. They strike first here in the second half to extend their lead. Brendan Tate with a 44-yard touchdown catch from Andy Dalton. Tate, who came over last year from New England, where he had 432 receiving yards and 3 touchdown receptions for Bill Belichick in 2010. And it's a 14-point Cincinnati lead with 11:58 left to go in the third. Cribbs brings it out. Submarines down to the 20-yard line. Let's take another look, Steve, at the touchdown.
Yeah, they run a stunt up inside, send an extra man on the blitz, and he doesn't look anyplace else other than Tate. He wanted him, had the matchup with Hag, and Tate didn't let him down. 6 foot, 200 pounds, physical enough to finish that in the end zone. As you see there, those are 3 pretty good guys right there. Jones, Tate, and of course, A.J. Green.
So the Browns and their young quarterback and running back will try to answer. Play action for Whedon. They set up the screen to Richardson. And that goes nowhere. Manning Lawson was right in the middle of it.
If you look back the first half, Whedon had a pretty good job, did a pretty good job of it, much better than he was a week ago, finding the open receiver. And of course, Trent Richardson has really shown up big for the Browns, finishing tough runs, running to the open area, breaking off the 30-yard touchdown run for the touchdown.
Richardson, 13 carries, 83 yards, and his first NFL touchdown. Second and 13. Whedon, center of the field in the seam, and tried to hit Massaquoi, incomplete.
That was a good look and a pretty good throw, a little high. Made the right decision, and that's a tough ball to fit in there right on the seam. He's going to come up just on the inside edge of the numbers. That's the seam, and you see there just off target. And that just needed to be a little better throw.
Massaquoi, 3 catches for 41 yards last week, not including that overthrown ball by his rookie quarterback on a sure touchdown early in the game. So facing third and long now. Third and 13. Whedon underneath. Josh Gordon dropped immediately. And the Browns are going to have to punt.
Yeah, Whedon had no chance. Nobody was running open in the secondary. He had time, stepped up in the pocket very well, bought himself, slid right away from Jamal Anderson, took the hit, made the throw, but didn't have an opportunity to find anybody down the field. Great coverage in the back end by the Bengals.
Adam Jones already has an 81-yard punt return for a touchdown. He's back deep. Short punt. Takes a Cleveland bounce, and it will be down at the 35-yard line. 10-13 left to go in the third. 24-10. Bengals, Andy Dalton ready to go back to work. Back in Cincinnati. Bengals ready to take over at their own 35-yard line, leading 24-10.
And this is where the Browns defense really needs to step up and play and get a stop for the offense. No question that the Bengals have found their rhythm, made a few adjustments at halftime, and there's no question the Bengals' plan here in the second half is to pick on the corners outside. They're going to throw the football here in the second half, and the Browns have got to have an answer.
First and 10. Gresham was in motion. Dalton. Green. Close to a first down. Patterson made the stop.
You talk about A.J. Green and the day he's had. Just overthrown here. Kind of a tough drop right there, and then the missed opportunity here makes it look like a tough day. But what that'll tell you, it doesn't matter if he's playing well or having good numbers or not. They're going to get him his opportunities. They are going to throw the football to A.J. Green no matter what.
4 catches for 41 yards. 2nd and 1. Came up just short. And again, we've got a marker down, and this is close to the first down. Forward progress, as we'll take a moment after we sort through the penalty to listen to the hit.
Holding on the offense. Number 85, 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Armand Benz called for the hold. All right, let's listen. Shoulder pad on shoulder pad.
It doesn't do it justice, really.
You would know that.
It's not like running into a bounce house in there. I mean,
after the penalty, instead of a first down, it's 2nd and 11. Trying to set up the screen. Now Dalton running for his life and caught from behind. John Hughes, the rookie out of the University of Cincinnati, the 3rd-round pick with the sack.
3rd-round draft choice this year, and you can see right down inside, he's going to come through on a right between the guard center, and they're going to move out to throw the screen pass, and there's just nobody there to throw it to. Hughes with good hustle. And yeah, it's a little surprising that a 320-pounder can run your quarterback down, but it happens.
They really like him. They feel like he's just a big, strong, fast guy who can get to the outside, but also can stuff the run. 3rd and 14. Gresham. Well short of the first down. Dimitri Patterson made the stop. Jaquay Parker with a foot injury, and we're told his return is questionable.
It doesn't get any easier for the Browns defense.
4th and 8. Josh Cribbs standing back at his own 11-yard line, awaiting the punt from Kevin Huber. Huber, the Cincinnati native, and he booms this from the 5. And a flag is down at the 14.
Yeah.
That was a 58-yard punt.
On the return, illegal block in the back. Number 39, penalty is half the distance from the spot of the infraction. First down.
7:51 left to go in the 3rd. 24-10 Bengals. Browns pinned back at their own 7-yard line to start this series. Richardson tries to kick it out to the outside. Stops short of the 10. A nice play by Nate Clements, the 32-year-old veteran.
And Clemens has always been a good tackler. He's been a great guy at corner, big physical corner. And you kind of get the feeling now, in his 12th season, at some point Nate Clemens is going to make the move back in the secondary to start playing safety. That's where old corners go to die.
First round pick by the Bills back in 2001.
He's got a lot of years left in him. Nate Clemens has been a great player for a long time.
2nd and 7. The draw to Richardson. A couple yards short of the first down, a gain of 6.
Pat Shurmur elected to keep it on the ground down in his own end. And really, when you're in your own end, the thing the offense worries about most is throwing a bad throw to pick the intersection up. And the thing that the defense worries most about is having an offense that throws the football and is not afraid to.
Again, the Bengals lost their leading tackler, the Will linebacker Thomas Howard, with an ACL this week in practice. Richardson nearing 100 yards, 15 carries for 92. Whedon steps up center of the field, and that is caught by the tight end Alex Smith. And he's got a first down.
Great protection for Whedon. Great job of being patient and letting the route develop. You'll watch Smith come out, gets into Maualuga, then turns, and then the big gun. You see Maualuga standing right there, and Whedon with the arm strength just puts it right past him. Sometimes it's good to have a fastball guy as a quarterback.
Whedon, big and strong, an accurate arm. Felt as though he didn't really play up this potential in week 1. Was anxious to get back on the field this week. 1st and 10. End around. Travis Benjamin. It worked early, and that was good for a couple. Pushed out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
Yeah, one of the things you see teams run this when they start noticing the backside of the defense pursuing. And on that play, Robert Gathers had that play sniffed out, did a great job of shuffling, watching the play develop. He didn't go with the play fake inside, stayed at the end, and then forced Benjamin deep for just very little gain. Great job by Gathers.
2nd and 8. 2-touchdown lead for the Bengals, 24-10. Richardson. And the flag is down. Maualuga made the stop.
Holding, number 55 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's Alex Mack, the center.
And when you see a hole on a play like that, it happens right away, right at the snap. I mean, that was a quick hitting play. Right here's the hold, and you'll watch and see he gets caught on the crossover, and he's stepping out to make the block, thinking he's going to have to reach to get there. The defensive lineman loops inside, and he ends up overrunning it and having to hold to compensate.
9 penalties for 98 yards against the Browns. Whedon got rid of it, tried to hit Richardson, improvising, but incomplete.
Just waited a little bit too long. Whedon had the right idea, and you know that Richardson was hooting at him. You know, and it happens when the back comes out and gives the chip block for Joe Thomas. He starts yelling about right here to get a ball to him, and don't think Whedon can't hear him. I know there's a bunch of people in this stadium, but the quarterback can hear that stuff and just can't connect.
Devin Still, the rookie out of Penn State, had the pressure. 3rd and a ton now for Cleveland. They have to get to the 37-yard line for a first down. Whedon slings it, caught by a little. And back close to the original line of scrimmage, Terrence Newman made the stop.
And that throw there was a pretty good intermediate pass, but they needed to throw about 3 of those to get to the first down marker and get it. I mean, they just waited too long in the downs. The holding penalty hurt them. And it's just, you know, the little things that are adding up right now to keep the Browns from moving the football offensively. It's not really physically they're getting outmanned. They're just, you know, the holding penalty and then the inability to feel good about throwing the football on first down.
That just punts it away. Adam Jones fields it at the 25 and dropped immediately. 4:05 left to go in the 3rd. That was a 48-yard punt and no return. Only CBS. Back on this beautiful September day in Cincinnati. 4:05 left to go in the 3rd. 2-touchdown lead for the Bengals. Out wide, A.J. Green trying to get him in space. And he's got a first down.
You think about how this Browns defense has played here today. Very solidly up front, only giving up 55 rushing yards, but there's no question their secondary has been exposed. Joe Hayden's absence has really hurt their ability to stop this deep wide receiver core of the Bengals, and that's another example of it. A.J. Green with the big cushion on the outside. They respect his speed, hit him for a quick hitch and a 10-yard gain.
First and 10. The law firm. Tough yard inside.
Once again, there's an example of it. Just tough in the run game, this Brown defense. And if you look back at what they did in week 1, the difference has been their inability to get turnovers. They haven't forced Dalton into any poor throws, or at least poor enough throws that they can get a hand on it. Haven't batted any passes, and he hasn't been pressured consistently.
They intercepted 4 passes last week against Michael Vick in the opener, almost half as many as they had all of last year when they picked off 9 the entire season. On second down, short out route. And Gresham is stopped immediately for a little gain. That'll bring up 3rd and long.
Goldman, these are the kind of drives where with these short passes, it really helps the quarterback's completion percentage, but it really, what it does more than anything is it makes a statement to the defense that you're playing that we're going to take these short routes and you've got to tackle, and if you miss one, it's going to be a touchdown.
3rd and 9 for Cincinnati. Dalton. And that might have been intercepted. DeQuell Jackson.
That's what
and he's got it.
A tipped ball is a quarterback's worst enemy, and that's what happened. Tried to get it to Gresham. It got tipped at the point where he could catch it, and DeQuell Jackson managed to scoop it up.
He recovered a fumble and had a 27-yard interception return for his first NFL touchdown, and let's take a look.
And that's clean interception. DeQuell Jackson got one for the touchdown, as you said, and that was a poor throw by Dalton. Well behind Gresham.
Dimitri Patterson tipped it up in the air,
Patterson
and DeQuell Jackson with a great play.
Yeah, Patterson should have caught it himself. And that's the kind of play that we spoke about in the open of the game. DeQuell Jackson, this defensive unit under Dick Giron really focused on turnovers throughout the offseason. It certainly paid off in week 1 and finally does so here again today.
DeQuell Jackson signed a big contract in the offseason. He's a leader for these young guys, and a powerful run from Trent Richardson. Close to another first down. Ray Malaluga made the stop. All right, let's send you to New York for another NFL update with JB.
Arizona playing some good ball against the Patriots.
And after a New England block punt, Kevin Cobb 2-yard touchdown to Andre Roberts, putting Arizona up 13-9 over New England.
Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
All right, guys, thank you very much. 2nd and short. And the Bengals take a timeout.
Cincinnati.
With 1:46 left to go in the 3rd. Cleveland Browns are still in this ball game.
Timeout.
And what a boost it would be for this young quarterback to bring him back against a divisional opponent on the road.
Yeah, no question. And that guy right there, Trent Richardson, what a difference he has made. A different kind of back. You remember last week, 39 yards. And today, 101.
So his first NFL touchdown and his first NFL 100-yard performance. So there's a timeout on the field. Let's go back and check in once again in New York for a Week 2 update, guys.
And Carolina getting it done.
Oh, man, Carolina's running the ball up and down the field on the Saints. D'Angelo Williams, 3-yard touchdown run. 28-13, Carolina.
Bill and Steve.
All right, fellas, thank you very much. 24-10 Cincinnati here, nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Richardson fights for the first down and gets it.
That's a good heads-up run there by Richardson. Knew all he needed was a part of a yard. That's really what his object was. He wasn't trying to break that one for a touchdown. Did a nice job of getting in there, finding a weak spot, and then just kind of hopping over to make sure of it and securing the football. Smart heads-up play.
So 1st and 10 from the Cincinnati 41-yard line. Browns on the move after the interception by DeQuell Jackson. Whedon rolling out. Has to throw it away. had time initially, but then Geno Atkins applied the pressure, and he had to get rid of it.
There was nobody open in the secondary. He was trying to get the football to Benjamin Watson on the backside of this. He's trying to throw it back across on the deep go route to the tight end, sneaking out. He ended up having 3 defenders around him.
Geno Atkins had 2 of the Bengals' 3 sacks last week against the Ravens. Had 7.5 sacks in his Pro Bowl season last year. Whedon over the middle. Massaquoi. And that will move the chains. A pickup of 18 yards.
On the outside at the top of your screen, coming right underneath the vacated area by Greg Little. As Little runs through the middle of the defense goes with him, and Massaquoi comes right underneath the vacated area, and Whedon guns it in. Great throw and catch.
Clock continues to run near the end of the third. 1st and 10 from the Cincinnati 23-yard line. I formation. Whedon checks it down to Richardson. Trent Richardson still on his feet. Touchdown, Richardson! What a play!
Wow, that was big time. It looked like he was going to come in and take on the tackler head on. He slipped 3 tackles inside the 10-yard line and gets into the end zone. That is a big-time play right there. You see him get the chip block and then make himself available. Watch this. He gets inside the 10. 1, 2, 3. And then a 4th guy spins out of that tackle. Wow.
And that's why you move up a spot to take him at 3rd overall. Movement before the snap on the extra point. Just 7 seconds left in the third. 2 touchdowns today for the rookie out of Alabama.
And they will have the option.
32-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, and now a 23-yard reception.
Number 93 on the defense. Penalty would be declined.
Call that on Michael Johnson. Dawson. Right through the middle of the uprights. And it is a 1-touchdown game. 24-17, Cincinnati.
Watch Trent Richardson. He'll come out, helps the guard on his block, then turns around. Whedon sees him, gets it to him in a hurry, and Richardson's got all kinds of space. Slips 1, 2, 3. And Nate Clemens trying to get that ball out at the end. Can't do it. Richardson squeezes it. And really, the play once again trying to go to the backside of the formation to Ben Watson, and they're all over him. You can see there. He told us, Richardson did, that usually it used to take 2 guys to tackle him, and that time 3 guys couldn't get it done. There's 1, 2, 3, and then the last one, man.
He's exciting. Very likable young man. Enjoyed visiting with him. Grew up in Pensacola, Florida. His mom, Katrina, his grandmother, Gloria, were big influences in his life. Gravitated towards sports and would love to follow in the footsteps of another Escambia High School graduate from Pensacola, Emmitt Smith, who, of course, is in the NFL Hall of Fame.
We mentioned in the open, Richardson told us he looked at himself on film from the last week's game and said he ran too high. Didn't like what he saw, and then practiced this week, tried to fix that and tried to think about his running style. And his teammate DeQuell Jackson said, man, it's hard to see you when you're running down that low. Obviously, it's made a difference here today, and you can tell it is a different guy than what you saw last week, who only had 39 yards on the ground.
17 carries, 104 yards, and the touchdown. Now the touchdown reception. 24-17. Tate will bring it out. Trying to get to the edge. and out to the 23-yard line. So that is the end of the third quarter, and we'll return to Cincinnati after this message and a word from your local station. Watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. We've got a ball game as we start the final quarter. 24-17 Cincinnati after the brilliant catch and run by Trent Richardson. 1st and 10. Dalton rolling out. Guns it to the sideline. A.J. Green stopped at the 26-yard line by Dimitri Patterson after a gain of just 3.
I think if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you keep doing what you've been doing in this second half, and that's just what they did right there. Exploit the secondary of the Browns. It is risky, no question, but you've got a quarterback in Dalton who took you to the playoffs last year. You've got one of the great young receivers and certainly one of the great receiving corps in the league. You've got to use them, even though throwing the football is risky with a one-score lead.
Dalton 17 of 24 for 206 yards. 2 touchdowns. Marker is down. That's Benz. And he has an apparent first down, but we'll check the penalty.
Offside, number 21 on the defense. Penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down.
Call that on Dimitri Patterson.
Once again, he's lined up right here. He's done that earlier in the game as well. He's trying to crowd the line of scrimmages and get as close to the receiver as he can to make him as uncomfortable as possible, but Green is lined up off the line of scrimmage and he can't get that close to him.
So 1st and 10, just short of the 35-yard line. Green Ellis. Defense stiffening. Pick up 3 yards on the play.
Still not much in the run game for the Bengals. They'll stay with it. Green Ellis is a guy who, as we've said, gets positive yards just about every time, although there 2 yards is not much to write home about. It still keeps the run game involved, and the Browns can't tee off on their pass rush if they know that the Bengals are still willing to hand it off inside.
They'll operate from the shotgun. 2nd and 7. Bengals with a 1-touchdown lead, and Dalton is going to take a timeout. Didn't like what he saw, so timeout on the field. 13:15 left to play. Wednesday in prime time, JB, Chris Collinsworth, and Phil Simms bring you their unique view of America's Sunday pastime you won't find anyplace else. It's Inside the NFL, Wednesday on Showtime. 2nd and 7 after the timeout. 24-17 Bengals. Dalton over the middle. Hawkins looks to be just short of a first down. Only 5'7", but the Bengals want to try to get him in space and put him in a position to make plays, and they're going with the hurry-up offense now. 3rd and 1. Hole for Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis, who has a first down. Almost had more. T.J. Ward made the stop. Pickup of 7.
So many teams in this day and age of the NFL run the no huddle and run it a lot. Now the Bengals and the Browns, neither one do that very much. Right here, I think the Bengals get a nice jump. Look how packed in it is. You can see where the Browns believe the ball is going to be run. Green Ellis takes it, bounces it to the outside for an easy 5-yard first down.
And if Ward doesn't make that stop, there's no one else. It's a touchdown. Dalton sacked. Frosty Rucker, the former Bengal, with a big play on defense for Cleveland.
Oh, that's got to feel good for Frosty Rucker. 7th-year guy out of USC, come in fighting against it, gets taken down. It's actually a pretty nice block by Clint Bowling. And Roster just stays with it and gets the shoestring sack. Just a bull rush down inside for Rucker.
He was the Bengals' third-round pick in 2006, a big part of that defense that finished 7th in the league last year overall. So 2nd and 20 after the loss of 10 on the sack. They get a chunk of it back on the reception by Jarvis Green Ellis. Brought down at midfield, back at the original line of scrimmage.
You can see as every time Dalton drops back to pass, it has been a quick hitter, a hitch right over the middle. Watch this. Look at the wide receivers have 15 tight ends and running backs spreading it out. Sooner or later, they're going to try and take a shot. We'll see when it happens.
3rd and 10. Dalton. Thrust from the pocket. Guns it. Hawkins. Andrew Hawkins. He's going to score. Hawkins with the touchdown. Yards for Andrew Hawkins.
It all starts with a quarterback who can buy himself some time and extend the play. Hawkins feels the pressure from Trevin Wade. He just shakes him, and then once he gets his hands on the football, it turns into a punt return, and all the Bengals jump on.
And it was a block by Brian Leonard that ultimately sprung him. Leonard hustling downfield. The extra point by Nugent is good. And the Bengals back up by 2 touchdowns. 31-17 Cincinnati after the big play by Hawkins. Another big play for the Bengals on 3rd down. 31-17. 10:44 left to play. Hawkins with the touchdown. Cribbs takes a knee. They'll bring it out to the 20. 2-touchdown lead for the Bengals, 31-17. It's been a game of big plays, starting with the 81-yard punt return in the first half by Adam Jones. Trent Richardson had a 32-yard touchdown run, and Andy Dalton 44 yards to Brandon Tate. Whedon had that 23-yard touchdown pass to Trent Richardson. Great running there. And just now Dalton 50 yards to Andrew Hawkins. First down, Richardson. Now to the 26-yard line. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
Here's where Hawkins comes from, and watch as he comes up in here, catches the ball. Watch the block that he gets from Brian Leonard at the end. He almost has to dodge him. And as he's working against the defensive back, watch right there, he misses it, gets the block that springs him into the end zone, and of course A.J. Green gets the last one.
2nd and 4. Whedon has time, has to check it down. That's going to be about a yard short of the first down to the tight end Alex Smith. Gain of 3. And we have a man down. It is Alex Smith.
And it never looks good when the players from both sides get up immediately in motion for help from the sidelines. He seems to be moving around, though.
Injury timeout on the field. Less than 10 minutes remaining. Alex Smith left the field under his own power. Impressive numbers for Trent Richardson, and a first down on the quarterback sneak by Whedon. Trent Richardson making a little history here today. Going over 100 yards. First Browns rookie ever to have 100 yards with a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown in one game. 1st and 10. Whedon. Massaquoi. And he is into Cincinnati territory. Good for 22 yards and a first down.
And what a different game it's been for Brandon Whedon today, along with Trent Richardson as well. Those two guys who, I mean, it looked like the game got a little bit to them last week. A little bit of a deer in the headlights look. Not so today. Both of those guys have been very much better. Whedon particularly, of course. Richardson, you kind of expected it. But, man, Whedon looks much, much better.
17 to 26, 208 yards, no interceptions. That's out to Richardson. Wrapped up and spun out of bounds by Fontez Perfect.
Whedon, former pitcher in major leagues, first-round draft pick of the Yankees, gave it a shot. And we asked him, what's it like pitching in the major leagues? How's it compare to quarterback? And he said, there is some similarities. Quarterback's way harder, but there are some similarities.
2nd and 2. Richardson met right in the hole and driven back. Malaluga had the initial contact, but going back to Whedon and the baseball analogy, he said coming back this week was like a pitcher giving up a home run and having to face that next hitter. You got to have a short memory and put it behind you.
Yeah, he really did. And he said, and let's face it, a lot was made out of the fact that he's 28 years old, but he's been around the block a few times in professional sports already. So he is a bit, I think, more able to handle the ups and downs. And let's face it, last week was a down. This week, not so much, even though they trail in this game.
Ogbonnaya is in the backfield on 3rd down, and he gets it. Ogbonnaya with some running room up the sideline and driven out of bounds inside the 25 down to the 24 by Vincent Ray. That was good for 16 yards.
That's a great job by Whedon finding Ogbonnaya late. Coming out to the right guy, seeing the field, and just taking his time. Ogbonnaya gets the little chip block, actually runs right by, gathers, and Whedon sees him right away. That's a great play, well executed.
Good drive by the young Cleveland offense. Down 2 touchdowns. Whedon, plenty of time over the middle. That's caught. Greg Little with a touchdown, uncontested.
Oh, what a throw by Whedon. He laid that over the linebackers in front of the safeties. Great touch pass on a 15, 20-yard pass. Tough throw to make. Stepped up in the pocket. Wow. Watch his eyes, doesn't look at the rush, coming in, steps right up in, waits for it, and then can't follow through. And that strong arm on what was less than a full throw fits in there, and Little, right in the void spot in the defense, gets into the end zone.
The extra point is good. And once again, it is a 7-point ball game with 7:11 left to play. Greg Little with the touchdown catch coming off a mixed first season. He finished 2nd among all rookies with 61 receptions, but had some costly drops. Came into this season trying to eliminate those mistakes. And let's take another look at the touchdown.
The Bengals are in zone defense, meaning they're watching the quarterback and everybody's guarding an area of the field rather than a man. And they just lose track of Little. He comes in behind Clements as Clements is looking at Whedon's eyes. Clements can't leave his area, so he lets Little go to the next zone, and there's nobody there.
Take a look at the numbers on that drive. 5 of 5 for 73 yards in the ball game. 20 of 29 for 256. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and that's more like it. 31-24. Just over 7 minutes remaining. And we have another big play to add to the list. Whedon 24 yards to Greg Little. Brandon Tate back deep, ready for the kick from Dawson. From the 4. spun down across the 20 to the 22-yard line by Deshaun Gibson. Sherlock Holmes is back, and the city of unsolved crimes, he's the biggest mystery of all. Elementary premieres Thursday, September 27th, only CBS. Looking forward to the fall season here on CBS. Dalton and the Cincinnati offense ready to go back to work. Browns able to answer, 31-24. See if they try to take some time off the clock. Then Jarvis Green Ellis. Tough yards inside, out to the 28-yard line.
And just when the Bengals think they've got a little breathing room, the Browns put the ball back in their court and force them to play a complete game. Stride for stride, 3 plays each of 20-plus yard plays. Those are explosive plays for an offense, something the defense hates to give up. Both defenses guilty of it today.
Short drop. And that was caught by A.J. Green.
And now you see T.J. Ward out there making that tackle.
6 catches for Green for 54 yards and a touchdown.
The secondary of the Browns has really been tested today. And it's going to continue here late in the game as it gets tight.
3rd and 1. And we have movement before the snap. Flag across the field.
Offside, number 74, by contact, 5-yard penalty, enough for a first down.
Well, they don't have a 74.
But unfortunately, that puts the Browns over 100 yards in penalties.
Might have been.
Number 74.
Might have been 97.
So first down for Cincinnati. That was costly. They toss it back to Green Ellis. Puts it back inside. Stopped just short of the 40-yard line.
And those penalties are crucial when you think back across the course of the game, which ones have really hurt. And it has been the Browns doing it to themselves, both defensively and offensively. Lining up in the neutral zone a couple of times, and then on the 3rd and short, you cannot jump off sides.
17 carries, 68 yards have been Jarvis Green Ellis today. 2nd and 8. 5 minutes remaining. Underneath, Green Ellis across midfield into Cleveland territory. Fajita made the stop after a pickup of 12.
I think one of the halftime adjustments that the Browns made was, listen, we are not going to give up any more long passing plays. So Andy Dalton has just been dumping it off short to his wide receivers, short to his running backs, short to his tight ends. They are taking what the defense is giving them, and the Browns are forcing them to make those plays off short routes and short completions and go the long way.
Dalton approaching 300 yards. Green Ellis. Tough running on the left side. Pickup of 1 or 2.
You think how big a turnover would be at this point for the Cleveland Browns that they thrived on last week, but then you see a guy like Green Ellis get the ball, and he's never, ever fumbled in his entire career, and it just makes you wonder, makes you think why Marvin Lewis wanted the guy on his team. So dependable in a tight game like this.
Browns with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. That's Cedric Pearman. Stopped by Tama Rubin. And the Browns will take that first time out. Tomba Rubin, of course, very underrated, coming off 4 tackles and a forced fumble in the opener. And we've had some big plays today. Right away, Adam Jones with the 81-yard punt return. Then Richardson, just a tremendous individual effort to get into the end zone. Andrew Hawkins with some great running and outstanding downfield blocking for a touchdown. And then Greg Little with the touchdown reception. (31-24).
You think that guy right there, Trent Richardson, has just said hello to the National Football League.
Big third down here. Cleveland needs a stop to get the ball back. Dalton, lots of time. Going to Gresham. He was bobbling it. Will they rule that as a reception? Did he have control when he went out of bounds?
That's a good question. There's no question he bobbled it, and Dalton's getting him at the line. He doesn't believe he caught it. Let's look at it. As Gresham's going to go up, it's a back shoulder throw, being guarded by Ward. Boy, I don't know.
And they tossed the challenge flag.
I think you got to do it. That's too big a play not to take a second look at. No question that he bobbled that ball as he was going down. See there, where's his foot come down? There he's got it.
Previous play,
he kept
stating that he
control.
did not have possession.
But he's got to have both feet down after he gets control. So his... Yeah, I think he gets it. I think that is a catch for Cincinnati. I mean, that is, wow. He's juggling it for a long time, but he gets both feet down a couple of times. You can't see the hand there, but that right foot gets in right at the end. The left foot was in, I think, as well at the top of the catch when it came down for that final time. I think he had possession of the football, and that's the real question.
T.J. Ward did everything he could do to try to knock it away. And if it stands as a catch,
I think he's in. I think his left foot is down at the very end when it comes off. And, of course, I think, no question, his right foot's down inbounds at the end as well.
It would be a tremendous individual effort from Gresham.
His left foot's down. He grabs it. And now it could be his right foot right there, but I think we've seen that foot he stays in bounds.
If it stands, it'll be a 22-yard gain on 3rd and 7 and a big first down.
Right there, is his foot in bounds? I think, yes, it is. Then that foot's down, and then that foot's down. I think that is a catch. I think that call is going to stand. And it's unbelievable that he bobbled it 16 times and still got his feet in bounds. Wow. And this is a game-changing play. And I can't fault Pat Shurmur for throwing the challenge flag on that one. But it will, I think, in this case, cost him a timeout. I don't think there's enough there to change that over. I think that play will stand. There's his foot is down there, and the other foot, the right foot is up, but the left foot is down. And there his left foot's down, there his right foot is down.
After further review, the play stands as called.
And that was big.
That was big. That was an enormous play. Not only do the Bengals gain the first down and the yardage, but Cleveland loses a challenge and a timeout.
So the Bengals go from being unable to convert 0 for 5 in the first half on 3rd down to being 4 of 6 with 2 touchdowns. on third down, and that puts Dalton over 300 yards for the day. First and 10 from the 24-yard line. Just over 3.5 minutes left to play. Browns are down to one timeout. Good penetration. Swarming defense from Cleveland.
That's the first negative play Green Ellis has taken in the entire season, these first 2 games of the season.
And they will use their final timeout. Stops the clock with 3:25 left to play. Well, Saturday on the Home Depot SEC on CBS, James Franklin and the Missouri Tigers battle Marcus Lattimore and the Gamecocks of South Carolina. The action begins with college football today, next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS. And a fantasy update for week 2. Eli Manning with some good numbers, but 3 picks. Reggie Bush, 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. C.J. Spiller with a nice outing. Fred Jackson unable to go. And Victor Cruz, 179 yards on 11 catches. Hakeem Nicks also a big game, over 100 yards with a touchdown.
Brian Hartline, the Miami receiver, as the Dolphins beating the Raiders at this point 35-13.
Browns out of timeout. Green Ellis still on his feet, extending the play, lowers his shoulder, gets inside the 20. 6-yard gain before Eric Hagg finally brought him down.
Well, he's a steady player, smart, and he just keeps his feet, and he's smart enough to know Green Ellis, play's not over until it's over. Nobody's really got a hold of him. He bounces out of there and, as you said, extends the play and turns it into a real positive. That's a smart, savvy runner. Hasn't made a big play today, but wow, has he made a difference.
Inside of 3 minutes now, 3rd and 6. They got to stop him here. And they do.
Well, the problem is they're in field goal range. And it's the fact that the Browns got the stop doesn't keep them from actually probably giving up points here to Mike Nugent.
So Nugent on 4th down has 1 field goal already today. This from 37 yards out to go with his 39-yarder earlier. And that is right through the middle of the uprights. And there's the cushion. 10 points. 34-24. 2:09 left to go.
Well, it doesn't get easy for Brandon Weeden from here on out. Played better, hasn't been good enough yet. No timeouts, 2:09 left, and you're down by 10.
Coming up next, Mark Sanchez, Tim Tebow, and the Jets take on Big Ben and the Steelers, or the Titans challenge the Chargers. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Trent Richardson, impressive numbers. But his team is down by 10. 11 plays on that drive, took just over 5 minutes off the clock and resulted in the 37-yard field goal. Trent Richardson today, 19 carries, 109 yards.
You keep going back to it. The biggest difference in this game was the punt return by Adam Jones in the first half. Offensively and defensively, these teams have played toe-to-toe.
See if they kick it to Josh Cribbs. Knowing how dangerous he can be, they do. Cribbs will have a chance 5 yards deep. And upended around the 25-yard line. Whedon back to work. 2:03 left to play. Whedon 20 of 29, 256, had 4 interceptions last week, none today, but 2 touchdown passes. He'll run the 2-minute offense. Whedon, Richardson. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Vincent Ray made the stop after a pickup of 8. Cincinnati with a 10-point lead. Paul Brown Stadium has been a tough place to play of late for the Cleveland Browns. 1:56 left to play. 34-24 Cincinnati. From their own 34-yard line. Whedon underneath Obadiah, steps out of bounds at the 40.
He comes down to stop the clock, and right here, if you're the Cleveland Browns, you know you're down by 10, gonna be, well, really tough to get back in this game and win it, but no question about it, a lot of positives to take from this game. Bitter disappointment that you may lose this game, no question, but you found out a lot about your young quarterback who bounced back in a huge way after a tough outing in his debut, and the guy you traded up to get in the draft, Trent Richardson, showed up in an enormous way for your offense.
Richardson over 100 yards, Whedon near 300. Pump fake. Obadiah again, and he runs out of bounds in Cincinnati territory at the 48-yard line. That was good for 12. And we have a Bengal down at the 40-yard line. That's Jamal Anderson, the defensive end.
In a situation like this, as Anderson's attended to, this is a point where you can count on the Bengals kind of giving up some yards just in an effort not to give up the big play. So Whedon needs to be cautious in the pocket, needs to scan the field. He's going to have time. They're not going to rush the passer or send extra rushers.
Jamal Anderson, the free agent signing from the Colts. See if we can pick up where the injury occurred.
Right in the middle of your screen. And he just, yeah, it just happened. It was a non-contact injury, really, as you can see there.
And that left knee.
Oh, he did it. He did it trying to plant. And that's, you know, you rarely see it, but it's just a non-contact knee injury where the guy plants his foot and his knee just quivers for a moment. And because of the size and weight and speed of these guys, it's never a good thing to see the cart come out on the field.
Bengals already down at defensive end with Carlos Dunlap unable to go today. He's been out for 4 or 5 weeks with a knee injury. Might be ready to go next week, but this is obviously not encouraging for Jamal Anderson.
And you think you get these guys back healthy, what this team's facing in future weeks, and the schedule comes, as it always does, comes crashing down on you in the NFL. They go to Washington and Jacksonville, 2 straight road games before coming home to face the Dolphins, who are big winners today. Then they face this same Browns team again.
Anderson being helped to the cart
One of the strangest things about the game, I played for a long time. You see guys, a non-contact injury like that go down, and really nobody touched him. It's unbelievable that happened. Then you see these guys crash into each other, and 16 guys make a pile, and they all get up like nothing happened. It's amazing the randomness of these injuries sometimes that happen. It's always made me shake my head.
It's a tough moment for any athlete. Not only the injury itself to deal with, but then you wonder how serious is it going to be? Am I going to be able to come back from this?
Oh yeah, and if it isn't a serious knee injury, you're looking at months of rehab, and it's just a huge blow to your career and your psyche.
1:41 left to play. Whedon over the middle. Ben Watson fighting his way down to the 21-yard line.
Now they've got to keep going. Now watch, Whedon's going to come up. They may spike this ball, or maybe they'll have a play called. No, he's going to call a play at the line of scrimmage. He's going to go ahead and run a play with 1:15.
What everybody said he does. Steps up again underneath to Obaniah. Brought down hard, just shy of the 10-yard line by Mauluga.
And I think for the Bengals, you want to make them work for this touchdown if you're going to give it to them, because they could get this onside kick, and then you're in a dogfight once again.
50 seconds remaining. Whedon incomplete. That'll stop the clock. Josh Gordon was the intended receiver. 46 seconds left.
And Leon Hall almost pulled that one down. Whedon kind of double clutched it and then let it go. Almost turned into a disaster, but he got away with it. Watch this. See there, Leon Hall just tips that away. Nevertheless, Cleveland trying to score this touchdown and hang 30 points on a very good Cincinnati defense.
And Whedon over 300 yards, 318, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
How's that for a bounce back game?
And a big hit
penalty
on Josh Cribbs right at the 6-yard line. Clock continues to run.
Now you got to hit the sidelines to stop the clock.
3rd down. They can get a first down at the 1. Incomplete. 25 seconds remaining. 24. Little was the intended receiver.
And now they come on with a field goal unit. Now you got to get 10 points, so you got to get a field goal at some point. So you take the for sure points here at the field goal, or what you think is for sure field goal. You send Dawson in to get the field goal, knowing you've got to get the touchdown after this, so you're going to kick the onside kick.
And Pat Shurmur is saying that the clock kept running. It should be at 24, 25 seconds.
He's right. Now they've got it. That's probably a little too much time there with the.
Not if you're the Cleveland Browns. You could use an extra 3 minutes. They get it set 24 seconds. You agree with this? Going for the field goal
Yeah, you
here?
have to do it. It's a smart play. You got to get the ball back anyway, even if you score the touchdown. You got to get 10 points one way or the other. Get the 3 here and take a chance on the onside. It's the same opportunity as it would be if you scored the touchdown.
Shippey from 25 yards out. Dawson converts. Back to a 7-point game with 20 seconds remaining.
The strategy is if they scored a touchdown, they're still down 3. Got to kick the onside kick, but it's a 4th and 5. Tough to convert that. So they'll take the 3 points here, go for the onside field goal, and then make it tough on the next possession if they can get the touchdown. But that's just the way it has to be done. And I know people are going, you got to do it somehow. So take the points you can get when you can get them. And you've got the same opportunity now that you would have had if you scored the touchdown to get the onside kick. Now, it makes it tougher after the onside kick if you can recover, but that's a chance you've got to take. It's a better chance for that than it is on a 4th and 5 with one last play, when knowing that if you don't get it, the game's completely over.
20 seconds left. Cleveland with no timeouts. Another hard-fought game from these young Cleveland Browns. Yet a game filled with big plays, starting early with the 81-yard punt return by Adam Jones. Got the scoring started. 34-27 Cincinnati. And everyone knows what's coming up. Ball was loose for a moment, and A.J. Green fittingly fell on it.
And that will do it. And you see here, Dawson's going to roll this over, and you want this ball to bounce as many times as you can. Brown actually touched it illegally before it went 50 yards, or before it went 10 yards. No call. You can't touch it if you're a Browns, and he touched it right there. No call, but A.J. Green recovers it. Would have been, they could have declined it anyway.
So they'll take a knee. Bengals will go to 1-1. Browns will fall to 0-2.
Brandon Weeden, Trent Richardson can feel a little bit better about the way they played today, even with the disappointment of a loss. They know they made a much bigger contribution than they did in their debut.
So the final score, 34-27 Bengals. Coming up next, the Jets travel to Pittsburgh. Tennessee takes on San Diego. For Steve Tasker, Bill McAtee saying so long from Cincinnati. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the NFL Today update presented by Farmers Insurance will take you to New York right after this.